Alright, well, somebody asked if there was a video on how to do the etching that I just posted on the glass. So I'm going to try my dangest around 3 kids and regular life.
What?
So I do a rubbing alcohol cleanup on the glass before I apply anything. They don't want anything that says fingerprint resistant, because I guess the chemicals in there react to the etching. So I just do a basic rubbing alcohol.
Uncle Papa?
Yeah, alcohol. And then I make sure. Come here! Bentley, what's wrong? What happened? Alright, he's done crying. Yay! Say hi! Alright, so I just have the front of my glass cleaned. The Cricut is still cutting out my stencil. I'm not doing the same rose one that I just posted. I decided I was going to make this beer mug into a muggle mug. So, wanted to get my little Harry Potter stencil done real quick. It's taking a little longer than I thought it would. We're at about 65% right now, so I'll probably just pause the video and not make you sit through all this. Alright, so stencil's all done. So typically what I would do when I'm making a vinyl is I would peel this excess off here, but that's actually going to be our border this time. So we're going to go in and we're just going to take the letters out. Oh my goodness. Super time consuming, super freaking annoying sometimes. And this whole thing is just letters. So I'm going to work away at this for a minute and then I'll show you what it looks like before I transfer it over. Alright, so I just went and reverse weeded all of my sticker. When I take out my, wow, go me. When I get my transfer tape ready, I typically don't size it to the whole size of my stencil, only because I'm not worried about it picking up the edge of my stencil. I'm worried about it picking up the details in my stencil. The edge of the stencil I can manage on my own. But I'm cheap and I don't like reusing my transfer tape because it's weird, and I don't like, I don't like that it struggles a little bit more to pick up my vinyl after the second and third transfer. So I use my transfer tape one time and I toss it out. So I'm not trying to use 2 feet of transfer tape to pick up a stencil. I do try to leave myself enough room on my bordering of the vinyl so that I don't have to use a ton of tape on my glass. Because if your vinyl's too thin along the border, you have to tape up your glass, and it's just steps that I don't want. So we're going to take our stencil off. Make sure we don't stretch and rip the vinyl. I mean, really, you're going to treat it the same way that you would vinyl that you're using to decorate versus using to stencil. But now I've got my guy on my transfer tape. This might come a little bit bigger than I expected it to be, but that's okay. Because I'm doing a mug, placing it's a ton easier than your curved wine glasses and stemless glasses and such. Because this beer mug has essentially no shape to it other than the base curve. Now, the thing that makes etching a little bit easier is that if there are little bubbles in the base of your design, it's not a huge deal as long as your lettering and your details are closed off and they have a nice seal so that your etch cream doesn't go all over the place under the vinyl. But like you can see, there's like little bubbles here. That's not what we're gonna see when we're done, so I'm not worried about it. But we do want to make sure that we have our details down. And then I do use my removable vinyl because I have a couple sheets of it and I don't know what else to use it for. Because I mean, I can't think of anything that myself, my friends, or my family are going to want to come off. Like my car decals, our customized kids gear, we want it all to be permanent. So since I don't know what to do with, put that down please, since I don't know what to do with the removable, it works out using it with this, and then it makes it a lot easier at the end too, because I don't have to worry about scraping the vinyl back up. So I made the mistake of doing permanent vinyl on my first grandma tile, and it was a mess. I ended up scratching the tile, and then it left a bunch of residue from the glue. But the removable just peels right up. So it says to shake well before use. I've been using it all day, so it's probably not necessary right now. But I used the Armour Etch. It was $23 from Hobby Lobby. And what I bought did not come in a kit. I am sure that you can order it, or maybe in a bigger city where there's a wider variety at each store, you could probably buy it in a set. But mine did not come in that. And then I just use a little paintbrush that one of my kids' painting sets had in it. It's just a soft bristle. And it says to do 1/8 of an inch thick. I just do until I can't see through. So I'm not rubbing it, I'm not smearing it, I'm blotching it on, and I'm trying to make sure that it blotches on fairly thick. And then you can go through, if you notice that your etch cream is super bubbly. Another thing that I noticed kind of works well is that once you get it on and you've got it all set, maybe like 3 to 5 minutes into it, just kind of push it around, make sure that you get all those bubbles out, and then put your second layer on. Or you can just do what I was doing before, and you can just rinse it off. After about 5 minutes, do your initial rinse the etch cream off. It says to do lukewarm water. I've been using hot because it seems to help get it off the glass. Once you rinse it off, leave your stencil on. Don't remove your stencil. If you notice that your stencil, because this will, the thinner my stenciling is in between my designs, the higher chance I have of the cream eating my stencil away. So with my rose design, I'll show you here, it ate away. So when I rinsed it off, all these little pieces came off with it. So I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to get your second layer on if you rinse it and the vinyl comes off. Because, I mean, that's just going to, it's a puzzle at that point. You got to put it back together and line it up right. But, like I said in one of my comments, though, I haven't needed to do a second layer on all of my glasses. I've just been leaving it on. I did a second layer on maybe 2 of my tiles, and then after that, I left it on for about 10 minutes, and I was happy with it after, so I didn't do anything excessive. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish filling this in. I'll show you what it looks like when it's filled in, and then we'll pause the video and let it sit for its 10 minutes, and then I'll show you how I rinse it off and what it looks like after. Alright, so because my decal was so big, I lost track of where my decal ended as I was turning my glass and trying to rub my stuff on, and I full-on stuck my hand in that shit. So I did read online that contact with skin causes immediate pain. I'm not telling y'all to go stick your hands in it, but I don't feel anything yet. That being said, if I start to cry in the middle of finishing this video with you, that's why. Don't touch it. So I just finished applying the etching cream to the glass. Because it is so big, I might end up doing longer than 10 minutes. I'm just going to keep an eye on it and make sure that I don't see anything funky happening. But while we're waiting on that, I can peel off the vinyl on my other wine glasses. So these were for my bridesmaids. My wedding is in November, and I wanted to do something customized and theme fitting because we're doing a Beauty and the Beast wedding. So I'm super obsessed with getting everything to kind of match my theme. And my wine glasses were something that I wanted to be able to personalize with our wedding information and the theme, but also make it comfortable for our bridesmaids. So when I did my decaled glass, I did my vinyl colors. These are all 651 permanent vinyls. None of this is etched. This is not etched. The lettering, the rose, everything is vinyl. But I didn't like that we couldn't trust it to go in the washer. I didn't like that one accident or one stupid night or them drinking too much wine one night maybe and just being lazy. I didn't like that they couldn't just toss it in the dishwasher if that's how they wash at home. So I tried a couple different covers. I did a acrylic spray, and that just was not holding down anything. So I did Food Safe Mod Podge, and we tested it, and it comes off in the washer. Once it comes out of the dishwasher, it looks like Elmer's glue all over the glass. So that wasn't working. That's what's on here right now. That's why it looks all bubbly. My goal was I added a second layer of Mod Podge, and I thought, well, it'll just make it easier for them to wash it, because when you're washing your glasses, you can't really wash the vinyl either. You don't want to take a sponge to it and risk catching anything. But now I've got little pieces. I don't know if you can see it, but like my details in my leaves, they're lifting up. So it says permanent, but I'm not going to sit here and give this to somebody. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't like what it's doing, so I'm not going to give it to someone. I wanted to find something more permanent, and that's when I started looking at etching. This is permanent. This isn't coming off. You don't get to remove this with goo be gone or anything, so it's here. It's here to stay now. But like I said before, the reason I like using removable liner versus permanent is that was a breeze to take off. I've got a couple projects done with this so far. Stop it. Stop. Leave the cat's food alone. Sorry. I've got a couple projects done so far. We've got 3 of the grandmother tiles, 3 wine glasses done, and then I'm working on this muggle glass that'll be done probably in about 15 minutes. Nope, that's trash. Leave it alone, please. Don't touch this. Ouchies. Don't touch. Boy, please. Stop. Seriously, stop. Stop. It's not funny. Should be fairly easy to peel off, especially if you're using removable. What I read online was that removable it'll eat away easier. So when you're doing your designs, it's the permanent and the use after use, whatever the heck that is, that is going to stand up better. But I mean, you'll see my thicker pieces didn't eat away. It's just my little detail pieces. But even with them eating away, it didn't move, it didn't budge. It picked up my detail, and it put in my little curvatures where I needed them and did its thing. I did see a comment that said to blow dry your vinyl onto your glass to prevent bubbles and bleeding. I didn't do that with any of these, and I obviously didn't do it with this one because there were no bubbles in my lettering. You can give it a shot. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not going to do it on video for you because I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, that's essentially it. When you are done with this, when your etch cream, when it's all sat and done and it's done its time and you're ready to rinse it off, you can just, our faucet has a little shower detachment, and that's what I use, and I put it on the hot setting and I kind of blast it and melt it off, and then I peel it off if it looks okay. If it doesn't look okay, leave your stencil on, reapply, and you'll have an etched glass. This stuff does smell like nasty old eggs though, so my whole house, I've been trying to figure it out the past 24 hours. It smells like rotten Easter eggs in here. It's the etching cream, so fair warning, once you get a decent amount of this stuff out, it's nasty, but it's fun.